Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from Side Game LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be organizing Planet Unknown, the deluxe edition designed by Ryan Lambert and Adam Redberg and published by Adam's Apple Games. This is a fully sleeved copy of the deluxe edition of the game that includes the playmats that is organized to get gameplay started as soon as possible. If you have any questions about anything you see here, please let me know down in the comments below, and you can take a look in the description of the video for any links to anything I talk about here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure that you do. It is the best way to help us grow. Let's get started organizing Planet Unknown. Before we begin, I do want to mention that the game is going to have some lid lift. That's because we're storing the playmats inside. I find that this is the best way to get gameplay started as soon as possible, so you're not having to store the playmats in another location. Everything fits perfectly into the box here with that little bit of lid lift. Let's lift off the lid, and inside you'll see that we have the Lazy Susan on top. And this Lazy Susan is going to need to be filled with all of your different puzzle pieces here. You'll pop out all of them when you first get the game, and then organize them and shuffle them appropriately. You can actually take out the center portion and adjust it so that you have a variable setup for your different piece layout. Just pop it in like so. Go ahead and take this out and put it into a central area. That way it's in between all of the current playing players. Underneath the Lazy Susan, you'll have your double-sided playmat boards here. These are going to give you the ability to play with a basic version as well as one with some asymmetric ability. For example, Gaia here has these special cities on the board, and if you leave them uncovered, you score some extra points. These are identical to all of the different paper boards that you'll get in the core game, and so you can use them in place of those paper boards. Go ahead and put those to the side for right now. Underneath that, you have your two storage trays with some score pads on the top. You'll have lots of these score pads, but you may want to laminate some just to have them available in case you ever do run out. And now we get into the storage trays, starting with this one on the right. We'll go ahead and lift the lid off here like so, and you'll see that in this left side, we have all of your different civilization cards. They're organized into 2s and 1s and 4s and 3s, because you only need a certain number of these based on the player count. So store all of the civilization cards in this left side. On the right side here, you'll have all of your objective cards. And just like the civilization cards, you're only going to need some of them for each game, but you'll need to keep them available because some other cards may call for them. And the last portion we have here is in the center. These are all of your different player components sorted by the pieces that you'll actually need for each player. This game does play up to 6. You'll have the player color, which is represented with these triangles. Put one next to that Lazy Susan to mark where your active area is, and the other one on your board to show that it's you who's actually playing that color. You'll also have 2 of these rovers. That's kind of the generic startup. You'll have 2 to begin with. You'll then have 6 of your life pods that you'll populate your planet board with at the start of the game, and then your different resource trackers, one for each of the different color of tracks that you'll be going up on throughout the game. Go ahead and put these into each of those 6 wells. In the second resource tray, we'll have some of the remaining components that you'll be using throughout the game. For example, your different meteorite tokens, your biomass tokens here that you'll achieve through that green track, and then your different event decks based on their alert levels. We have our green, our orange, and our red. This is the severity of the difficulty that you'll be playing. You'll also have some extra of these life support markers, some extra rovers in case certain things call for them, and then you'll have this extra special first player marker, and then an additional marker for one of the special faction boards. So that's everything in this first tray, but I do want to mention that some of these event cards will also have this little 1 symbol at the bottom. That means they're only for the solo mode. So if you have your game set up for the solo mode, make sure that they're shuffled in. But if you're playing multiplayer, take these out before you begin your game with those event cards. Now's a good time to mention the sleeves that we use for the game, for those Civ cards as well as the event cards. We use the clear mini European board game size sleeves. We use the Game Plus brand and they all fit in nicely, but I'll leave a link in the description below where you can find sleeves for your copy of the game. Underneath the resource trays, we have all of our paper components. These include the rulebook as well as your paper versions of the different planet mats. You've got your asymmetric sides and then your generic sides. And this last section here has all of our different corporation boards. These are these nice recessed boards here that are going to store all of your resource tracks, as well as tell you what technology they develop with. Just like the planet boards, they have an asymmetric side on one side, and if you flip them over, they have a generic side with your basic abilities. Once again, it's up to you which sides that you want to play with. If you want a more varied experience, try out these special asymmetric sides. In the rulebook, they have explanations of how each of the different tracks work for each of the different corporations, and if you mix match them with the different planets, you'll have even more variety. The rest of the insert here just has the rest of our corporation boards, so I'll just leave them in here for the time being. And that's everything inside of the Planet Unknown Deluxe Edition. Let's go ahead and pack it up. First off, we'll return all of the corporation boards. We'll then place our paper player mats as well as our rulebooks on top. We'll put the 2 resource trays with the score pads on top of that, all of the planet playmats, and our Lazy Susan. And that is organizing Planet Unknown. If you have any questions about what you saw here, please let me know down in the comments below. How do you organize your copy of Planet Unknown? What do you think of the game so far? What's your favorite corporation? What's your favorite planet to play on? Did you get the deluxe edition? Did you get the playmats? We'd love to hear what you think. But thank you so much for watching. Side Game Strong.